So good morning, everyone. Happy to be here. I keep repeating this, but I do feel happy to be here. So, and I'm happy that we all have given ourselves this opportunity for practicing. I think if we could manage, it'd be good to meet at least once a week or something like that to just integrate, because we keep going and going and going, and now that it's time to just give us a pause and do this practice. Is like this is what we should be doing more, right? This is a way of integrating, and the group energy helps a lot also. So it's really good that we're here. Because as I was saying yesterday, I think one of the challenges, not the one, because there are plenty of challenges for us to integrate the Dharma and in our culture, in our way of living and everything. One of the important ones, I think, is that sometimes we keep a kind of separate worlds, our daily life and then the Dharma life, and it's kind of sometimes difficult to integrate. And when we want to integrate, sometimes it's kind of forced somehow, and it doesn't quite fit with our lives. So the way of integrating samsara and nirvana here, not samsara here, nirvana there, but samsara and nirvana here. It all depends on how we live and how our mind is fitting into our lives, and how we're dealing with our lives and our experience right now, right here. This is samsara and nirvana. We choose one way or the other. All the time. We're creating samsara or nirvana all the time. Enlightenment and bodhicitta or samsara all the time. And this is here. This is not one thing here and one thing there, outside. Or, you know what I mean? Do you feel like that? Because I do feel like that sometimes. So a way of integrating this is meditating. That's kind of the only way. Otherwise, it gets here, right? It's all. I should think of bodhicitta, for instance, or I should meditate. And when we do things like that, like doing, I think we end up doing mundane samsaric things. And this doesn't mean eating. We can eat with nirvana, bodhicitta, enlightenment mind. We can go that direction. I don't mean the action itself. I mean the inner attitude. We can go one direction or the other, and we can keep the same approach when we do our Dharma practice or service. I think we keep doing things, and we want to help, and we sometimes just don't hear ourselves and our needs, and we don't really integrate bodhicitta in a sense of real kind of caring for others, and others matter. It becomes something kind of abstract there, and then we end up with I thought of this word yesterday, bodhicitta burnout. So, because it's too much for us. I mean, we're pushing too much, and that's because we don't pause to integrate, right? To integrate care for ourselves and care for others. And this is a big challenge, I think. This is a big challenge we're facing here. So we should give ourselves some more times like this one we're fortunately giving to ourselves now. So I'm happy about it, and we'll continue to practice and to integrate, right? So we will go a little bit more into bodhicitta. again read Rinpoche's advice on this, and we will further it a little bit, but first we will settle down so that we allow ourselves to integrate. So we take a few moments to settle down, body, mind, environment. We kind of bring it all into this moment. Everything we experience right now is what there is. It is like that, so we allow ourselves to be with it, not to be against it, but or trying to change anything. We just become aware of what there is with an open mind, and we allow ourselves to do it naturally, just taking a few moments to kind of take our attention by hand, accompany our attention into this place, this moment, this body, this mind. Just notice what you feel and the experience there is. We don't try to make it calmer or more focused or whatever. Just slowly bring our minds here. It can help notice especially the sensations of contact with the cushion, with the chair. It's a grounding practice that settles us here. It can give us a sense of stability, sense of being here, of connection. And we can adopt a sense of friendship with ourselves. There are some things that we like most in our lives. There are things that we like less, that we struggle with. Same with ourselves. But this is what there is. So we can try to adopt a sense of acceptance and of care for ourselves. So we'll do what we can, but this is what there is. We'll manage. We can do it with a sense of care, as long as We feel comfortable with it, not pushing it. We can learn from everything, we can grow from everything. We're really lucky that we have methods and friends and gurus and beings who care for us, who can help us. And we're really lucky to discover that we ourselves have the potential for brightness, for light, for loving, for wisdom, for freeing ourselves from these sometimes annoying and difficult minds and existences we have. We can try to extend this sense of care to others. We can just look around, see how we all want to be happy, we all want not to suffer. Many of all, we're kind of lost. But we still have this amazing potential within ourselves. So let's look around with this sense of care for others too. And we can be brave and take the bodhicitta mind. Adopt, embrace the bodhicitta mind slowly within ourselves. As Lama Rinpoche says, I am not practicing this Vajrasattva purification for myself alone. The purpose of my life is to release all hell beings, pretas, animals, humans, asuras, suras, and intermediate state beings from all their suffering and its causes, and lead them to unsurpassed enlightenment. In order to do this, I must first reach enlightenment myself. Therefore, I must purify all my negative karma immediately by practicing the Vajrasattva meditation recitation. Rinpoche continues in the teachings from the Vajrasattva retreat. Remember to check your mind from time to time and check that there is bodhicitta within, or embrace it from time to time again and again. In this way, your practice becomes very powerful. The nature of that thought of benefiting others, of doing the Vajrasattva practice for others, then it becomes very pleasant and very satisfying. As much as possible, try to do the mantra recitation with the thought of benefiting all sentient beings. So we can try to do this. And this is not something imposed on us. This is something that we can let grow within us. This sense of care, because there are many, many, many beings suffering in the universe, and we can do something for them. And it's gradual. So we just take it gradual, and we're one more sentient being who needs to receive our own care. And we can extend this to others. So with this in mind, we can go through the daily prayers and then the Vajrasattva purification. So Charlotte, if you want to share the daily prayers. We take a few moments to generate a mind of refuge, confidence in our own potential and capacities, and opening our minds to receive the help and guidance of those who are there. We can recall all the energy and wisdom and compassion and love and freedom and joy of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, of all our gurus, of all great beings. By recalling them, something becomes manifest around us. Whether we see it or not, it's just there's a contact with our mind. This is what's important. So we can take refuge and generate bodhicitta. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. We can imagine that. We can imagine that we're able to contribute to that gradually. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. And may all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. Can you imagine that? And now the seventh prayer. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. I present clouds of every type of offering, actual and imagined. I declare all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time. I rejoice in the merit of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until the end of cyclic existence. And with this, we're creating the causes of always meeting perfect gurus and dharma so that they are with us. And turn the wheel of dharma for living beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of all others to the great enlightenment. We offer the mandala. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with more meru, 4 continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. Idang Guru Ratna Mandala Kamnidyatayami. So we're going to do the practice of Vajrasattva with the motivation of bodhicitta. We can settle down here. We can give ourselves permission for being here, for purifying. We can recall how samsara is a state of mind and state of existence. It's conditioned by karma and afflictions. This is not something external, it's just here, just who we are. It's just what our experience moment by moment is. Whether we are in the Gompa, whether we are in the marketplace, there can be way to samsara, way to nirvana, and we can choose slowly, steadily, though, at every moment. So we just find this balance of not pushing too much, but still being here, just the amount of energy we need to keep going. On your right side is your father. On your left side is your mother. Your enemy and those sentient beings who make you agitated are in front of you. Even if there are some people we don't want to put there, there's something internal that says, oh no, we can try to put them there anyway, so that we soften all these difficult emotions we have towards them. They also deserve to be happy. They also do what they can. So just let ourselves to put them there. There's no need that we like them because we maybe don't like them, but we can still put them here in front of us. And people you're attached to are seated behind you. All other universal living beings are surrounding you. And we contact with the mind of refuge, opening up for receiving this sense of refuge and of not being alone on the path. Visualize a standing Heruka embracing Vajravarahi as your principal refuge object. Around him are the Dakas and the Kinis, wrathful gods and peaceful goddesses, and many other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Arhats who have completely attained the everlasting, peaceful realization of enlightenment. There are 62 different deities in the Heruka mandala. So we can open up to the possibility of receiving all the help along the path. I forever take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in all the three vehicles, in the Dakas and the Kinis of secret mantra yoga, in the heroes and heroines, the gods and goddesses, and in the bodhisattvas of the 10 bhumis. But most of all, I take refuge in my holy Guru forever. I forever take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in all the three vehicles, in the Dakas and the Kinis of secret mantra yoga, in the heroes and heroines, the gods and goddesses, and in the bodhisattvas of the 10 bhumis. But most of all, I take refuge in my holy Guru forever. I forever take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I take refuge in all the three vehicles, in the Dakas and the Kinis of secret mantra yoga, in the heroes and heroines, the gods and goddesses, and in the bodhisattvas of the 10 bhumis. But most of all, I take refuge in my holy Guru forever. I must become Heruka in order to lead all sentient beings to the sublime state of Herukahood. I must become Heruka in order to lead all sentient beings to the sublime state of Herukahood. I must become Heruka in order to lead all sentient beings to the sublime state of Herukahood. The objects of refuge then melt into light and dissolve into Heruka, who in turn melts into light and dissolves into you. And as we absorb the refuge field, we think we receive all the qualities, all the things we need along the path. that we have company along the path, and we become one with our gurus, with the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and refugees stabilized within us. And we can recall emptiness. We don't need to get stuck with our sense of I. There's just a whole interdependence of body, mind, aggregates. Which can change and can become purified. Instantaneously, I arise as dark blue Heruka with one face and two arms holding dorje and bell. Out of the void, about 6 inches above the crown of my head, appears the seed syllable Pam, which transforms into a 1,000-petal lotus. On top of the lotus appears the seed syllable A, which transforms into a moon disk. In the center of the moon disk stands the seed syllable Hum. Suddenly, the Hum transforms into a white 5-pronged Vajra with a Hum at its center. Much radiant light emanates from both the Hum and the Vajra, going out into the 10 directions and completing the 2 purposes, offering great psychic blissful energy to all gurus and Buddhas, and purifying the defilements of all sentient beings. The whole universe melts into light. This light then returns and is absorbed into the Hum in the Vajra. The Hum and Vajra also melt into light and transform into Heruka Vajrasattva on top of our crown. Vajrasattva is white. He has one face and 2 arms. Sitting in the full lotus position, he holds a Vajra in his right hand at his heart and a bell in his left, which rests in his lap. His consort Georgia Nyemma Karma embraces him, her legs encircling his body. She too is white and has one face and 2 arms. She holds a curved knife in her right hand and a skull cap in her left. They are both dressed in robes of heavenly silk and adorned by precious jewel ornaments. They both have seed syllables Om at the crown chakra, A at the throat chakra, and Hum at the heart. Brilliant light radiates from the Hum at the heart, invoking the divine supreme wisdom energy of all the Tathagatas to the space in front of Vajrasattva in the form of the wisdom beings. And as we bless and present the offerings, we can think of the whole sky being filled with beautiful offerings, and this pleases those who receive the offerings, this pleases us and it generates a more satisfied, blissful mind conjoined with wisdom. Om Kendaro Hi Hum Hum Peon Showa Shuddha Sarva Dharma Showa Shuddho Ham. All is void. Out of the void appears a seed syllable A. It turns into a huge white skull cup containing the 5 meats and nectars. They melt, becoming an ocean of the Amrita energy of divine transcendental wisdom. Oma Hum Ha Hori, Oma Hum Ha Hori, Oma Hum Ha Hori. Om Vajrasattva Arga Pradisha Hunsaha. Om Vajrasattva Padyam Pradisha Hunsaha. Om Vajrasattva Pupe Pradisha Hunsaha. Om Vajrasattva Jupe Pradisha Hunsaha. Om Vajrasattva Aloke Pradisha Hunsaha. Om Vajrasattva Gende Pratisha Hunsaha. Om Vajrasattva Nilde Pratisha Hunsaha. Om Vajrasattva Shah Hunsaha. Ja Hom Bam Ho. They become non-dual. The wisdom beings who are the wisdom energy of all Tathagatas joyfully sink into Vajrasattva's divine heart, becoming completely one, like a drop of water sinking into the ocean. Now the empowerment. Again, brilliant light radiates from the home at the divine heart, invoking all the initiating deities of the 5 families. Om Panchakula Saparivare Argam Padyam Pupe Dupe Aloke Gende Nyule Oh Tathagatas, please bestow me the Heruka Vajrasattva initiation. Upon this request, all the Tathagatas hold out their initiation vases, which are full of the Amrita energy of divine transcendental wisdom, and the Amrita stars to flow. The divine body of perfect absolute wisdom, Heruka Vajrasattva, is completely filled with the Amrita energy of blissful transcendental wisdom. So Amrita overflows and transforms into Akshobhya, who adorns Vajrasattva's crown. The initiation deities melt into light and sink into Vajrasattva. At the center of a moon disk at the divine heart stands the seed syllable Hum, encircled by the 100-syllable mantra, standing counterclockwise around the edge of the moon disk. Now we present offerings to Heruka Vajrasattva on top of our crown, but this is also manifestation of our own wisdom and compassion and purity and capacity of purification. There's no separation. So we make offerings to this potential, this wisdom, to this compassion as well. Om Vajrasattva Argam Padyam Pupe Dupe Aloke Gende Nyude Shakta Om Vajrasattva Om Ahum. Non-dual divine wisdom, magnificent inner jewel, ornament of all mother sentient beings. Indestructible, magnificent wisdom mind that releases all sentient beings from all negativities of body, speech, and mind. especially broken vows and pledges. To you, glorious Vajrasattva, I prostrate. And we offer the mandala. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with moon meru, four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings thus enjoy this pure land. The right view of Sunyata is one with the wisdom of great bliss. This wisdom transforms into moon meru, the sun, the moon, and all other phenomena in the universe. I offer everything magnificent to you, ocean of great kindness, who are liberated and who liberates all mother sentient beings as well. The objects of my attachment, aversion, and ignorance, friends, enemies, and strangers, and my body, wealth, and enjoyments. Without any sense of loss or hesitation, I offer this collection. Please accept it with pleasure and bless me and all sentient beings with freedom from the three poisons. Idang Guru Ratna Mandala Kaniryata Yami. Now the power of regret, and as the name says, is a power, so it's powerful to generate this mind. Through ignorance and delusion, I have broken and damaged my pledges. Holy Guru, who has the power to liberate me, my inner master, holder of the Vajra, whose essence is great compassion, Lord of all migratory beings, to you I go for refuge. O Bhagavan Vajrasattva, destroyer of all defilements, who has attained all realizations and has passed to the other shore. I request you to please purify all negativities and broken and damaged pledges of myself and other sentient beings. So as we go through the power of regret, we contact with what we want to purify. I think we're purifying also all the things that separate us from knowing our own nature, from meeting the gurus and the Dharma, all the broken vows and pledges, this life and others, because they prevent us from developing and awakening our wisdom and love, compassion, and so on. So you can think along these lines. And now with the power of remedy, the mantra, visualization of Vajrasattva, we purify. And we can recall bodhicitta. We can recall bodhicitta from knowing that samsara is suffering and his afflictions and his karma binding us and binding others. So because of this request, real light radiates from the mantra rosary and the home at the divine heart of Vajrasattva. The light purifies all negativities and obscurations of all sentient beings and becomes an offering for all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The essence of the perfect qualities of their holy body, speech, and mind, all their transcendental knowledge, wisdom, returns in the form of light that sinks into the home and the mantra rosary at Vajrasattva's divine heart. From the home and the mantra rosary, a stream of blissful white Amrita energy begins to flow down through the central channel of the divine couple. The Amrita flows out through their secret chakras in union and flows into me through my crown chakra. Flowing down through my central channel, this stream of transcendental wisdom, Amrita energy, fills my whole body, destroying all negativities and defilements of my body, speech, and mind. These are completely purified. Remember to keep an open mind, just the right amount of energy for being here. It's happening. We just go with it, with the mantra recitation and the purification. Om Baja Heruka Samaya Manupalaya Heruka Denopatita. Heruka Samaya Sava Om Baja Heruka Samaya. Om Vajra Heruka Samaya Sava Ahum. We can let the mantra to continue to its vibration and dissolve. And now body, speech and mind are completely full. They have been filled with this nectar and light of wisdom, purifying energy. It completely fills our body, our chakras, our channels. And all our mistakes, broken vows and pledges, difficulties, problems, aspirations, negative actions, and so on have been completely purified. Just imagine they are gone, dissolved. Just stay with a purified body, speech, and mind. Now we can recall emptiness. Even though everything appears inherently existent to us, no phenomenon has inherent existence. No phenomenon exists by itself. Every phenomenon is empty, totally, of existing that way. All phenomena are dependent arisings. They depend on causes and conditions. In emptiness, there is no I, no creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. There is no negative karma created. So now we can present the offerings. Om Vajrasattva Argam Padyam Puke Duke Aloke Gende Nyude Shakta Sahun Swaha Om Vajrasattva Om Ahum. Non-dual divine wisdom, magnificent inner dual ornament of all mother sentient beings. Bliss. Indestructible, magnificent wisdom mind that releases all sentient beings from all negativities of body, speech, and mind, especially broken vows and pledges. To you, glorious Vajrasattva, I prostrate. Vajrasattva says, O child of good family, your negativities and obscurations and damage and broken pledges are cleansed and purified. Think that what Guru Vajrasattva says has actually happened. All your negativities have been completely purified. There's not the slightest trace of defilement left on your mental continuum. Your mental continuum is completely pure. Now the power of restraint. From now on, I'll abstain from all devices that I can abstain from, and I'll abstain from those that are extremely difficult for me to abstain from for 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, or at least a few seconds. We can think that this gives us strength to change habits and tendencies. That this is actually happening. And now we can absorb Vajrasattva, Guru Vajrasattva. Your vow to abstain from creating negative karma pleases Guru Vajrasattva, who will now melt into light and absorb into you. Dorje karma is transformed into light and is absorbed into Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva then melts into light and sinks into my heart or between the eyebrows. My 3 doors of body, speech, and mind become inseparably one with Vajrasattva's holy body, speech, and mind. Vajrasattva and I are completely one, and I enjoy the bliss of sunyata in full samadhi, beyond the dualistic view that discriminates between subject and object. This is the highest possible enjoyment. can again recall emptiness. And we can dedicate. Because of this merit, may quickly become Heruka Vajrasattva and lead each and every sentient being into his divine enlightened realm. May the precious body-mind not yet born arise and grow. May that born have not declined, but increase forevermore. We dedicate a few moments in silence so that everyone can make their own dedications. And we can connect those with the bodhicitta motivation we set up at the beginning. So thank you very much. May this energy of us expand all around and touch all those who need it. So we can leave it here, and if there is some comment or questions, maybe we can stop recording and share if you want. Yeah. A bit granted, which is a continuity of mind and past and future lives. I usually don't give it for granted. I usually take a pause and talk about this because it's something that is quite difficult for us usually. Here, I just went ahead hoping that no one would feel really uncomfortable with thinking of past and present lives because we don't. I assumed we all have given some thought to it, but if you need to talk about it or you think it's a difficulty, we touch it I think it was the first day when Kevin said something, said the mind not giving the possibility that the mind is not just coming from cells and neurons and chemical and physical substances interacting, but something else, some principles in the universe, which is much more subtle, is this capacity from perceiving and from experiencing. So this is what allows for it to be a continuity of mind and consciousness when this body is gone. Right? So if you have difficulty thinking about this, or maybe we think we don't have difficulty, but many times we haven't give it many hours of thought. So yeah, maybe, when we give it some hours of thought and we really contact with these possibilities, like, oops, it's like it goes deeper. So I would advise you to think about it from time to time, and if you need to talk about it, we can share. So and that is what makes the capacity for purification something real. Okay, in the afternoon we can go a little bit through the sense of I, what I is, because we keep saying think about emptiness, and what's that, right? So we can give it a little bit more thought. Good, so thank you. We continue, and we leave it here. We see each other later. Thank you very much. Enjoy the break, and see you later.